Now we move to a portion of our agenda where we're going to hear from some really key speakers that rounds out what we talk about today in terms of our theme being it takes everyone. And again, we've talked about the federal leadership. We've talked about at the agency levels all the way up to the White House. And of course, we talked about how important our mayors are. We've heard their perspective. Now I'm very excited for you to hear from a commissioner for the Boston Police Department who, when I met him, Commissioner Evans just talked about relationships. He knew firsthand that it was not about his officers solely making arrests. He knew they had tools in their toolkit that would allow them to hold people accountable, and it was always the enforcement. But he also talked about relationships and thinking about how they work with young people and build those relationships with young people in and out of school. Was struck by his passion and his commitment for this work and his own personal story. And so I'm so delighted now to welcome to the stage, please join me in welcoming him, Commissioner William Evans.
Good morning, everyone. And I want to thank, obviously everyone for inviting me here, especially, the National Forum. Again, I'm the Commissioner of the Boston Police Department. I've been on the Boston Police Department for my 36th year right now. I've come up through the ranks, and, I'm very lucky to lead the department. And with me is a great team. I won't acknowledge them all, but when San Jose Mayor talked about how great his team was, my team is a lot better, so. And better looking, by the way. But honestly, we all get challenges in our job, and I'm here to talk about some of the programs we have, and it's all about violence. That's what keeps me awake, and that's what myself and the mayor are continually focused on. Every morning at 7 a.m. we talk. It's a daily call about what happened the day before, and that's our main focus. And there's a lot of challenges in our job, but I think we have some great programs, and I think nobody does it better than us as far as community policing goes. Again, I've been the commissioner for almost 3 years, and we work hard. I like to say our philosophy is built on the way I was brought up. I was brought up as an inner city kid. I never knew my mom. I had 5 older brothers. My mom died when I was just an infant. I had a brother die when I was 9, and my father passed away when I was 14. So my brothers brought me up, and when Mayor Nutter talks about people stepping up and helping you, that's what I had. I had one of those summer jobs that kids so desperately need now. I went around picking up papers with that stabber, whatever that thing's called. But it got me through the summer. I was in day camps, and I know we work very closely with the YMCA here and the Boys and Girls Clubs. I was in the camp, so I seen firsthand what those opportunities can do. In growing up, I always remember I had one great opportunity was when my father passed away, a local Catholic priest came to my brothers, and they said they were worried about William. And he got me into a Catholic school, and that made all the difference in the world. And I got a great high school education, and I always say I didn't have the money to go to that school, and I still think I didn't have the brains to get into that school, but what I'm saying to you is someone stepped into my life, that priest, and he gave me an opportunity that I never would have had. And my philosophy in dealing with the inner city kids is I'm one of them. Every kid needs the opportunity I had. There's no such thing as a bad kid out there. There's just a kid in need of a chance that I got. And that's what... I remember, sleeping in a bed with 2 of my brothers on the second floor of a triple decker. We had nothing. My chief, who's second in command, was brought up by just his mom. He had nothing. So I think we get how important it is to work with these kids. And we talk about that. When I go to my academy classes in the new offices, we talk about how our role isn't locking kids up anymore. When I came on this job, 33 years ago as a patrolman, I was a cadet for 2 years before that, I talked to the officers about, if you come on this job thinking that our job is arresting kids, then you're in the wrong job. Our job is about giving kids opportunities. And when I came on this job, I got to be honest with you, we thought officers were great by the number of arrests they get. Now we measure our officers on the amount of great community work they do. You know, we don't have quotas on how many arrests. We don't have quotas on how many moving violations or how many tickets you get. Our main priority is how well we work with the community. And I think you'll see that with a lot of the programs. You know, we have a program called Youth Connect. I think it was highlighted in the film, where we have social workers working in 5 of our district stations. We have them working with our school police, and we have them working with our gang unit. And if you told me 32 years ago when I came on this job that we would be working in our district stations with social workers, I'd say you're crazy. But they're an important part of our strategy. Now our officers, instead of, you know, putting a kid into the criminal justice system, are turning those kids over to our social workers, and they're getting them the services they need. My only problem is there's such a great need now that we're really pushing the funding to make sure we can get them in all 11 of our districts, because we see what a great, valuable resource they've been. So it's all about diversion. You know,